just now.
Hello, everyone. Today, I am here to talk to you about my early review of the Flash movie. Now, I saw this movie last Wednesday. I got an early screening. I was extremely excited. I couldn't stand waiting anymore. And they gave us posters. We got free popcorn, drinks. It was really nice. And then the movie started, and my crowd was, cheering, hollering, and celebrating very respectfully, not obnoxiously. And I think we all felt the same way. We was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're here. We finally get to see this movie. It was like a sigh of relief when I was in that theater, and then I saw the logos pop up. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I was feeling the energy of the crowd, because like there was a point in time where we thought this thing was gonna get canceled, and I was very grateful to be there. But then, as the opening acts of the film began, I started to some things, some pretty cringy things, and it's all I'm gonna say up top is that it's not as good as people are trying to make it out to be, but it also isn't as bad as people are trying to make it out to be either. The humor doesn't really work, for me anyway. For me, the cinematography is good. The CGI is really bad. It is really bad. But let me just get some of these gripes I have out the way before we continue. So the opening acts of the film is commencing. I'm just letting the film take over me. I'm just absorbing it. I'm not like nitpicking, like, ooh, there's some shoddy CGI off top, but I'm not like, overly criticizing it. I'm just absorbing the movie for what it's giving me. And, the Ben Affleck Batman action, chase scene was good. It was pretty good. And, there was, it's already been, spoiled, but Wonder Woman comes in and, interjects and saves him, and, while Barry is saving like a billion babies. But my problem with how Ben Affleck acts here is it's extremely goofy. It's very goofy, and it can definitely be reminiscent of 2017's Justice League. And in hindsight now, in comparison, I like that Batman better than Ben Affleck's Batman here. But, he's smiling like an idiot, and, I understand that the lasso of truth is having a hold of him, but there's, a moment where no one asked him, and I maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I feel like nobody asked him anything, and he's just spilling out, like, stuff about himself like, it would have been cool if it was like in a very serious moment, and then like similar to 2017 you cut down and you see the lasso of truth on him, and then you could be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know this was on me, or something like that. But you see the lasso on him, and I feel like no one asked him anything, and he's just saying, I've dealt with trauma, and the only way I can fight crime is be Batman. And he's just talking, and he's talking while he's trying to unravel the lasso. Maybe to some that might be really funny, but to me that was just very rude to his character. Like, and this is like the final time we see him as Batman, and that really bothers me. And, Barry touches it and says, I know what sex is. And I'm like, okay, this is the type of movie we're going to be into. All right, that's cool. Thankfully, though, we see Ben Affleck sometime later in a more appropriate scene for him. It's like a goodbye. It's bittersweet. It's really kind of sad. But I'm glad that was Ben Affleck's last scene in the DCU, other than that fucking I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to curse. I gotta calm down. Other than that lasso scene, because that was just disrespectful. But that he's not the only Batman that gets the disrespect. Michael Keaton gets it as well. And there is a scene where he's hiding in like a cupboard or cabinets or like a fridge, and he jumps out like a crazy homeless man and attacks two of the Barrys, and it's just also goofy. In hindsight, it's I guess it's a little bit more respectful than how Ben was treated, but this one I wouldn't say goofy. It's more silly. Keaton's introduction was more silly than goofy, because he's fighting our Barry, who's lost his powers, and he's beating him up while he's also being like, made a fool of young Barry, who has Barry's powers now, and that gets handled, and then you see how it was very reminiscent of The Last Jedi's Luke Skywalker. You know how like he had a beard and he was like a hermit. It was the same thing, but with Michael Keaton's Batman. And to be honest, when I saw the cool Batman stuff, and it was cool, it was really cool to see him in the suit again and doing all these cool, acrobatic martial art badass Batman things. The only thing that was in my mind, like I felt like winds was taken out of my sail, because the only thing that was on my mind was this silly introduction. I wasn't thinking about the 1989 movie or Batman Returns or how cool it is. It was just like that introduction kind of stuck with me a little bit, and I'm like, damn, I'm not hyped right now because of what I just saw earlier. Oh my goodness. But I just feel personally disrespected as a Batman fan seeing this movie because of how they treat him. And maybe I'm gonna see it again this Thursday, and hopefully now that all the information is in my head, it's because the marketing, they say like, you'll understand why Michael Keaton is the best Batman ever, and it's Ben Affleck's final outing as Batman, and everyone's saying it's the greatest superhero movie of all time. And then I see it and it's like, it's just a bunch of jokes, inappropriate humor, and just kind of underwhelming events that happen. And another thing that really bothers me, I think that could have been the saving grace for me. Again, because I know it sounds like I'm hating on this movie. I'm not hating on it. I'm just a little disappointed by it. But again, if I see it again, I might change my mind or whatever. But one thing that really bothers me is that when they recast Billy Crudup for the guy from Sex and the City, I cannot remember his name. The new guy that's playing Henry Allen. He has an arc, and I feel like the ending of his arc is really great, actually. It's very beautiful, but I didn't feel anything because it wasn't the same actor. I feel like there was a very powerful emotional moment that was stolen from me, and that was all because of scheduling conflicts with Billy Crudup. And this movie would have been more up there had they kept the same actor for that at least, for the emotional element. But speaking of the emotional element, the mother is a terrible actress. The mother's a terrible actress. I understand Andy Muschietti's like Spanish, and he wanted to cast a Spanish mother. It's kind of random to me, to be honest, because like there was no sign of Ezra Miller being Spanish at all. The scenes that they have together, I feel like Ezra Miller's doing all the work, and she's not really servicing the scene. He is, but that's whatever. I asked a friend of mine, like, what did you think about that? He liked it because he's also Spanish. So it's like, and I really related to that. I was like, okay, at least you got something. He didn't like the movie, but at least with that part, he got something. So I guess there's something for everybody. Yeah. Wonder Woman makes a great cameo. I love her cameo in there. Superman makes a cameo as well, a faceless one. But again, if Black Adam is the last time we see Henry Cavill as Superman, I'm cool with that. But canonically, this is technically his last appearance, And I'm cool with that also, you know. I'm glad I kind of got to see the band back together again, minus Cyborg. But it was nice. I just wish it was in a better movie. I feel like this felt like I think I would have liked it more if it was because it feels like a third film in a trilogy. I feel like I'm hopping in and I'm not fully understanding what's going on. Like there was two other movies I needed to watch with the Flash, and I just got dived into this one. Um, Michael Shannon is in and out of the film. He seems like he's half asleep. Fiora is in it for like 15 seconds, and she's definitely aged. Obviously aged. Like, but she still looks very beautiful. I'm just saying, it's like you can see it. It's like clear as day. Like, man, she is not. She does not look the same way she did in Man of Steel. But again, she is gorgeous. Um, Flash was made to look like a fool in this movie. I understand they wanted to go for a lighthearted comedic route, but for me, he was just made to look like an absolute fool. And it sucks that they dragged Batman down to that level as well. But you know, I'm a hardcore Batman fan, not a hardcore Flash fan. So maybe Flash fans, when they see this, they'll be like, man, that's comic accurate. That's exactly how he's supposed to be. That. And if that's true, then kudos to you. I hope you love it. I know I'm complaining a lot, but I would strongly suggest people to still go watch it. It's definitely worth seeing. There is a sequence that is cameo filled, as well as an ending that has a big surprise that I think is at least worth the price of admission. Yeah, I would definitely say go see it for sure. I just that sequence, by the way, that cameo filled sequence, it looks like a bad PS3, video game cutscene. But the stuff in it is pretty good. I'm not trying to give too much away. I want to give light spoilers so that way when you go in. And they were smart because we only seen one post credit scene, but I believe there's another one that's supposed to be there on the 16th. The one that we got kind of left my audience disappointed because it was just like for jokes. It's like those final tag post credit scenes that you see in the Marvel movies where it's just a joke. It's like a waste of time. Like, I didn't even need to wait here for this. What the hell are you doing? Why are you subjecting me to this? The film it's just not as good as I was hoping it would be. And to be honest, I heard rumors that Andy Muschietti might direct the new Batman. If this film is any testament to how his skills are in terms of making a superhero movie, I don't want him anywhere near Batman. Find someone else. I was all for it before I saw this movie. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Seeing the trailers, the epicness, the music, but those are just trailers. Those are just the trailers. When you see the movie, but the thing is, I really do hope people enjoy it. Like, I know that seems contradictory from what I'm saying. Like, I may not love it. I don't hate it, but I may not love it, but I hope you do. Because, what is that saying? Oh, a high ocean raises all ships or whatever. Because if more people love DC, that's good for me. Because I'll keep, making good stuff. But I hope the criticism I make, as well as others, focus on those flaws and improve for future sequels, if they make sequels. Because I feel like I went into the wrong movie. Like, I saw the wrong cut of the movie. I'm like, no, that's the trailers promised. What the trailers promised me, the movie did not deliver on. And I want another cut. I want a sequel. I just want another I want a proper Flash movie. I'm not to the point where I was like, I want my money back, but I just feel like, oh, I'm sorry, this is a mistake. I didn't see the right movie. Can you point me to the direction of the right one? That's kind of how I feel. But hopefully, again, when I see it, one more time with the included secret post-credit scene, that might, change my whole perspective. Because something similar happened to me when I watched BVS. I was disappointed when I first saw it, And then I saw it again in theaters again and again. And then I saw the Ultimate Edition, which to me, honestly, is the best DC movie of all time. It just sucks that, it didn't come out theatrically first. But I love BVS now. It's one of my favorites. But this one, I think, no, anything is possible. I could see it again. I might like it, but I'm pretty certain I've made up my mind on this one. Spider-Verse is way better. It's a way better multiverse movie. But definitely, you need to go see it for sure. It's not a waste of money. Definitely go see it. I want to talk about it more, but I don't want to spoil too much because there are some surprises in there that you should experience yourself firsthand. And again, I hope you enjoy it. All right, that's it from me bitching and struggling to keep spoilers to you guys. So that's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Go see The Flash, and I will see you all next time.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus